Good morning, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm just coming on to do a little chit chat to get the week started and show you what I'm working on. I'm going to show you my current stitch project because Ann mentioned it in her lives, but that'll be next. I'm going to just work on this Afghan for a little bit until some folks come in. And I got a cup of tea. I tried coffee this morning. It just did not want to set on my stomach. So tea it is. So I showed in, I think, my last little live, the this yarn. And I went and found orange and white and green to go with this here. And I think that's going to look pretty good. In fact, I can show you what it's looking like so far. Put these back over here. And I'm just doing a repeat of green, white, orange, a single row of each of the solids. And then I'm doing 3 rows of the multiple color. And this is what it's looking like right here so far. Hi, Marty. Hi, Mina. And I think it reminds me of citrus. So that's what I'm going to work on for a minute, and then I'll show you the stitching I'm doing. My son is starting on days today for a little bit, and so he might be moving about. You might hear him moving about, but that's what that is. I'm not sure what I'll do with this blanket because it's way out of my color range for anything. But it could be like one of those things I set aside for at Christmas for somebody that stops by. They could pick from my bucket of treasures. I need to make some more dishcloths for my dishcloth box too. But that's something I can do, anytime. In front of the TV, I can do a dishcloth. So what are you two up to so far today? It's kind of early for you guys. I know it is for Mina. Way early. I am, after a while, I'm going to walk up and meet Sandy's cats. The lady that I had talked about before, and I did the paper piece cat picture for, she got in contact with me again over the weekend about all the stray cats. And so she's going to help me with the kittens, and hopefully we can find them some homes. And I told her, I said, I want to get the mama cat spayed. She just basically is really great with cats. I think she has 5 cats indoors as well. And they've turned their double garage into a catio. So that'll be interesting. So Sandy and I are going to team up and see if we can take care of the stray cats, find them homes, or at least there's the one cat, he's injured really bad right now, and I just don't have the funds to take him somewhere. But Sandy said she'd deal with his injuries and go ahead and get him neutered so that he'll quit fighting so much. So I need to get this just right. It's at a weight now where it pulls off my lap. But I'm doing the bean stitch. Oh, I didn't even finish that thought. But I'm going to walk up there, meet her kitty cats, chit-chat with her for a while, and give her that picture I did. Doggone it, I can't seem to do here. Janet Nash is here. Good morning. I just watched you stitching this morning, but I didn't catch all of it because I had to walk out with Scott and help make sure there wasn't any kittens in his engine and that kind of thing this morning. That's the bad thing about the stray kittens, is they climb up inside our vehicle engines. So we have to make sure they're all clear before he backs out the driveway. Pam. Good morning. You're up early too. Pam is out west as well. You and Mina are early, or getting up early, or haven't been to bed yet. One or the other. We visited with Scott's mom yesterday. She's at that stage where she tells us the same thing about 4 times every time we're over there. So yesterday's whole conversation for about an hour we visited was about the 2 tomatoes and my brother-in-law had brought over, and the fact that she had driven down to Bilo, which is not Bilo, it's Food Lion now, but she doesn't remember that. And to get a loaf of bread so she could make tomato sandwiches. And then we talked about the fact that she's not paying for the state paper anymore because they're only coming a few days each week. And they want $400 a year, which is crazy for a newspaper. And I told her, I said, well, we read all the news online, and we go to all the different news sites. So we're not watching just one news. We get a variety of news. And she got rid of the internet, so she doesn't have internet anymore. She never touched the laptop. My sister-in-law insisted we all get her. She's not interested in that. But she is 96. So, I mean, computers and all of that just don't interest her at all. And she doesn't understand why we don't have television. 4:40 a.m. I think the reason I like this stitch is it's got a rocky motion and it's super easy. Look up the bean stitch or the coffee bean stitch. That's what I'm doing here. I think this is going to be a pretty little Afghan. It'll be for a child. For sure. For sure, for sure. One more row of this. And this was all thrifted yarns from Goodwill hauls. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Nice and colorful for a child. What else? Scott hung some more tile in the bathroom. It's slow going because he hurts so bad all the time in his legs. I told him, I said, we need to try to hurry up and get this bathroom finished because it's been 3 years. So he's trying. He's plugging away at it. He got most of the little short wall under the window because he needs all of the tile to set firmly before he installs the toilet paper holder thing, you know, the little tile that contains the toilet paper holder. So he's got that all done. So he has Wednesday off for Juneteenth. So he scheduled 2 vacation days for Thursday and Friday. So he'll be home for 5 days in a row. And I'm hoping we can finish the bathroom up or at least get the tiling done. And then when we get some funds, I'll call the plumber back to install the commode and the new vanity sink in there. We have the vanity and we have the faucets and we have all of the stuff needed. It's just, and Scott could probably do it, but plumbing and roofing is something we decided a very long time ago that we would rather not do. And we found a really good plumber. He redid the last of the old iron stuff and got it out. So we're all of the plumbing's been replaced now. And so that's good. Just need to, do the cutoff for the commode pipe because it sticks up tall right now. And then he's got to shorten the pipes for the faucet and put the little handles on and all. It's just something the plumber can do in like an hour that would probably take us all day, because he'll have all of the right tools and know-how and all that. Yeah, the colors are cheerful. If you like orange, I'm just not into this bright orange at all. I prefer more of the squash or pumpkin colored orange, the deeper, darker oranges. Now, if you did seasonal decor and you like had a sun porch or something, not that you'd want a blanket like this out there on the sun porch, but it would be a pop of color. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, and we got to install the shower head and all of that. So I would rather pay the plumber to come back and do that. I want to see if they can replace the faucet on the outside of the house as well when they come, because the knob is broken. And so we've got like a temporary situation out there, and I'd like to fix it so it's a better fix. Hi, Heather. Hi, Anina. So I'm going to walk the picture I did. Some people might not remember that. Let me grab that real quick. I'm going to take it up to Sandy later, and I'll get to meet her kitty cats. We shared pictures of our cats. I'll give you the backstory on this first. This was a cat that was a stray, and we called him Buddy. Buddy would stop by, and they called him, I hate to say what they called him, but they called him Rusty Big Balls. But this was Buddy. I'm going to call him Buddy, what we called him. And she eventually saved him from euthanasia by the city because he got caught, and he was one day away from being put under. And so she rescued him, and they kept him for a number of years as a house cat. And she said one day she was just laying in her arms and he just passed away. They think he had an aneurysm. So I wanted to do something special for her because she really went out of the way to rescue this guy. So I took this picture and I did this. So it's not a perfect exact match, but I'm hoping she'll like it. So I'm going to walk that up to her later. And my projects this week, I've got yard work out the wazoo, and I should be out there right now before it gets hot. But I figured I'd do my Monday morning, and then tomorrow morning I'll go out and work between 6 and 8 in the yard before it gets hot. And if I do that, also anything that I cut back or anything, I can drag to the street and they'll go ahead and pick it up tomorrow, because tomorrow's our trash day, and they pick up the yard waste. As long as you don't bag it, if you just pile it up, they have a big truck that comes with a big claw, and they just scoop up the yard debris, and then they take it to the landfill area. But they have a section at the landfill that's for debris that they grind up, and you can actually go and get like a truckload of ground up stuff to make compost with or use as mulch, that kind of thing. And then let's see, that's my yard work stuff. That's a lot of the reason I'm not on as often is I'm trying to do so many different things that it just seems like the summertime, the number of things you have to do around your home triples or quadruples. So that's why I'm not doing much art these days. I've been making cards with people. I've showed the cards in a separate video that I did with Mary the other night. But when it's hot, hot, hot in the day, I'm in here just watching videos or Netflix or, something like that. So this is the current crochet project. I showed my stitches and what happened with those in a different video. And then Anne was talking about my kind of scrappy piece. I had a piece of batting here that was this size. So I just started basting pieces down to it, just like you would piece a block. I put one face up and then put one face down, stitched a 1/4 inch, and I did it all by hand, and then lay it back and just do that all the way around. So it's kind of like put together like Kawandi, but I didn't do the stitching as I went. I just basted the pieces down. Now I'm doing decorative type stitches. So, and I added lace and things. So I'll pick a square and do something. This one had butterflies flying, so I just did a branch with like a gazillion French knots. The blue with the white dots, that's actually a piece of lace with French knots on it. These were a couple of strips of fabric of some poppies that I just gathered on one side to make them turn into circle flowers. And then I stitched them at the center, and I didn't like them sticking up because I could see the back of the fabric. So I just stitched around the outer edge. They're not yo-yos, but because they're just strips of fabric, they're not a circle of fabric. Let's see what else. This one, I've couched a little piece of fabric here, raw edges showing. I've put some butterflies or bumblebees, whatever you want to call them. This one I just loaded up with daisies in yellow and white. This one is a favorite where I went around the circles. That was actually part of the fabric. And then I just added the little star shapes and some French knots. And this is X's in the lighter, like cross stitch in the lighter squares of this check. And this one I added a piece of lace, and then I did pink French knots, and then I did the spider roses where you do 5 stitches and then you weave around with thread. That's what those are. Couched another piece of ribbon there, and then put French knots on it. What else do I have here? Here I just did disconnected chains in rows. And then I've got some that are just running stitches. Let's see, what else have I done? This one's a meandering fly or a feather stitch here in different colored threads. All of this was done by hand. I backstitched around this butterfly to bring it out on that one. When I did the branch on the orange here, I let it come over onto this other piece too. So it kind of meanders. So I almost feel like I need to find an applique of maybe a butterfly or make something right here to kind of cover those where those meet. This has just been started. I don't know what else to add to it yet. I did a purple spiral, but you can't see it except when you look on the back. It doesn't show up very well. More straight stitches there. This one's another one. I did a chain around the edge, and I don't know what else I'm going to do. This I added the lace with a blanket stitch and then some more running stitches. So that's the piece Anne was talking about, and I think that's what she's planning to do with her piece that she's putting together now. So yeah, this is just something I can work on while watching a video. And I have thrifted, this is all thrifted thread in here. So I'm trying to use it up. I have other DMC floss that I had from like 30 years ago. I used to do cross stitch, and it's got its numbers on the tags and stuff. So I could get back into cross stitch if I want to. Hi, Calico Kate. I saw you said you took a tumble. Are you okay? And there's Maria. So that was my stitching. Um, and what am I going to do with it? I have no idea. I had thought about maybe making a small crossbody bag, fold one edge up like this and then have this come down like a flap. And then it would just be a very decorative bag. And the reason I would do it that way is I want that branch to be right side up on the butterflies. So, yeah. By the time I put seam allowance on it, it would be narrower. So it would only end up being, let's see, it's 6 inches. If I did a 1/4 inch seams, it would end up being only 5.5 inches wide, but my phone would fit down in there. So we might do that. Or it could be a stitch journal with a flap to come over like that. So this, I'd put a snap on it and it would snap open, and then I could put pages inside. I would line it, of course. So I don't know. Basically, it's a way for me to practice stitches, and it doesn't have a set to, this is what I'm going to be when I'm done. It hasn't decided what it wants to be yet. Inside the bed skirt I got at Ollie's for $1.99. When I opened it, it had this in it. Look, it's almost like an instant journal cover. It would be a chunky journal, very chunky, but isn't that cool? So I might do, I don't get a lot of junk mail. And I don't save any junk mail that comes in the house. Sorry, I hate to say it. But I'm one that I deal with the mail as I'm walking in. And by the time I get in, I've decided what's going through the shredder, what's going in the trash. I don't save anything. I get very little and then I don't save it. That's why I don't have any junk journals. But I have like the mother load of paper pads that I need to just get used up. Send you some practice pieces. That could be fun. Happy Mail. Let's see here. Yeah, I would go back to bed too. 3's too early to get up. Yeah. Those tumbles, they are like, nothing you've ever thought would ever happen. When you were younger, we used to just like go everywhere, do everything. And now it's like we have to be conscious about not falling. I know Dale at Erndale's, she broke her shoulder. And so she's really having to struggle. And she did a video recently of some exercises you can do while standing, because they were giving her exercises to do while laying in the bed and they just weren't as effective. So they gave her some standing exercises that I think are really good, even for people that are like sitting and crocheting all day, or you could do some of them in a chair. So if you're in in a chair, you could do some of the exercises she showed, and it would stretch that section of your shoulder at this area and your neck. So you might want to check out Dale's video on that. Oh, luckily Kathy's getting a little quiet time while the kiddos are traveling. Yeah, we've been getting, because we had local primaries, we had some political stuff coming in, and I just threw a lot of that. It's gone straight away. I know, isn't Dale amazing? I mean, but my Uncle George fell off a roof one time and broke his back. And do you know what he did for recovery? He built a rock wall. He crawled around on his belly and built a rock wall. He said, I'm not going to let a broken back slow me down. So there is something to be said to sometimes pushing and, getting your movement back. Kathy, do you have one of those things? I've seen them. They're like on a stick, and it's got like this fork-like thing that's at an angle that you can stick down under like dandelions, and you just step on the back of it and you can pop them up. I don't worry about the dandelions. I leave the dandelions for the bees because everybody around me poisons everything, daylights out of everything. So I try to leave something for the bees, because without the bees, your vegetables are not going to be pollinated. If your vegetables don't get pollinated, they won't set fruit. If they don't set fruit, you don't eat. So, yeah. Oh, Dale is a girl. Is the sweetest lady you'll ever. And she hasn't even been able to play her organ lately, which made me sad. But she said she's been trying. I saw that she's been trying to play a little bit. She used to, at the end of each of her videos, she would sit and play a piece. It's usually a hymn because her husband's a minister, but she plays beautifully. And she's been trying to do some stitching. Heather, you wouldn't be able to do that here. You would be eaten alive by fire ants. You might not see a hill, but they will show up. Like all these, like in videos, you see people putting a blanket down to have a picnic. Do not ever try that in the South. Never. You will be so sorry. I've seen so many people that are not used to the South. They'll put a blanket down and set a baby down, and I'm just terrified because you put a blanket down and it's like an invitation for the fire ants. And if a baby gets bit by fire ants, it can be really bad. So I remember from my first 18 years of living in upstate New York, we didn't have fire ants, but we had biting black flies, and they're almost as bad. They were really bad on the farm. So, yeah. Oh, Uncle George. Yeah. All of my uncles have passed on now, except my Uncle Lenny, and he lives right next door to my mother. And yeah, I don't see them very much anymore. Yep, fire ants are bad. Kind of hoping Greg's like back there taking a shower and hasn't fallen asleep. Oh, goodness. He is not a day person, but he's thinking he'd like to go on days. I told him, second and third shift, that's where they put everybody that can't function on a day shift, and they go on second and third shift so they can goof off. And so, yeah, I would rather work days and be done with it. But he's never been a day person. Even when he was a baby, he'd want to stay up all night. Oh, you have that bowl that I found for mushroom top, Heather? I see your comment just popped up. That's funny. But I'm going to cover the bottom side of it with those flattened marble like things and create a decoration to put on top. Oh, Scott, I wanted to go to the bathroom now because he took one of the strips and tried to do the cut to go around the molding near the window. And we learned our lesson in that where the glass pieces need to be cut, he needs to like cut them away from the strip and then use the little tile cutting saw, because you can't do any fine maneuvering cuts with glass like you can tile. It shatters and it's too hard to do. It's full of coleslaw you made yesterday. Cool. So progress is being made in the bathroom. Tile is going up. Um, Looking forward to him being home for 5 days in a row. I will have to we'll have to like work one day and then take a goof off day, then work one day, or he'll get too wore down. But I think if we worked on it steady, we could definitely get the tile done in 5 days. I mean, if we, work 30 minutes, take a break even. But the problem is once he mixes that mortar up, you only have a limited amount of time before it goes off and starts getting too firm. So what he did yesterday after he cleaned it, he lost some mortar again. So what he did yesterday before he wrapped up for the day is he did some pre-cuts of, the pieces where it comes to the wall that they have to be cut down smaller. He did a bunch of those pre-cuts so he can just go do a row and then boom, boom. He's got the end cuts all done. He doesn't have to walk to do the end cuts, which is good. I'm all over the place this morning. It's Monday morning. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work on this for a little bit. But right now, I think I might, since it's still early, I'm going to go out and do a little bit of clipping on some things. And I'll probably just pull my wagon and a pair of clippers and go and cut some stuff and take it to the street. I got about an hour before it starts getting too hot. So I'll be back in about an hour, catch Dee Dee, and then catch Janet, and I'll crochet while I watch Janet. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.